Hello? Hello? Hello. Okay. Sorry. I unmuted the mic and then I realized that the mic was muted. Um, and that's because it was also switched off at the microphone itself. Normally I control the mute and unmute via the OBS app, but it was the microphone itself has a little red button on it that you can use to switch it on and off as well, and that was also toggled off. So, oh no. Anyways, hi everybody, welcome in. What is up, gamers? Hello, hello, hello. Joe, thank you so much for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely, lovely lurk. And hello also to Petey and Alquil and Dan. Petey says, Petey in the house to say good tidings, and a very good tidings to you too, my dear friend. And hello also to Alquil, who says, I'll be trying to tidy, but mostly around the desk. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope everything gets all organized and nice just the way you like it. Dan says, I'm here trying to summon the concentration to play more Silksong. You can do this. I believe in you. Listen, if I can play that video game, so can you. Do you want to go out and come in again? Or sorry, do you want to go out and come in a Gabe? A Gabe. I don't. I think I'm just gonna own it and hang around if that's all right with you. Anyways, hi friends, welcome. It's so nice to be here. In case you missed it, I streamed last night over on Kirsty's Silksong Sketcher channel, and we had a really lovely chat and paint together. And oh boy, did the streaming my feed to another person's computer and then back out onto Twitch. Really hated my camera, and I was highly pixelated for about, I don't know, like half of it. So in case you missed it, this is what I painted yesterday, for day 6. I hope you like it. It's new. I love it. If you play music for her, she'll sing along, and the way she sings is like new. She just sings her own name, which is adorable. It's new. I love her so much. She is, as you can see, she's got a big knife and she's out for blood. I love it. Anyways, nap, says Alquil. Yes. So the prompt for today is Bellheart, and in Bellheart is your house. And if you haven't experienced this, spoilers for Silksong. I don't think it's a huge spoiler, but basically if you sit down on your little bed in your little house in Silksong in Bellheart, and you just let Hornet idle for a moment, she will flop over and just go to sleep in her cozy little bed. And I just think that's so stinking cute, and I love it so much. And also I wanted to do something that was relatively low on like intensive background details today. 'Cause I'm trying to speed run the next couple days. I don't think anything else, because I've got tomorrow's sketch finished as well. So spoilers, I guess, but tomorrow's spoilers for my artwork, but not really spoilers for the game. Dan says, I'll cope with spoilers. I don't understand the lore anyway. If it makes you feel any better, neither do I. I've had to see stuff and look up things in the wiki that are parts of the game I haven't played through yet. If you haven't been to my Friday streams, I stream Silksong on Fridays, but I can only stream Silksong for 3 hours a week because I've got a fairly limited amount of time with which to do it, with the rest of my schedule getting in the way. Which means I'm not super far into the... I don't actually know how far I am into the game. But there's a lot of stuff that I still haven't experienced because I have not completed the game by any stretch. And I'm currently stuck on a boss that's really hard and I hate and I haven't beaten yet. And I spent all of last stream on, and I'm really scared I'm going to spend all of this stream on, and then I'm not going to be able to try again for a couple weeks because I'm going to be on holiday from Sunday through to the 25th, which is also my birthday. But I'm aiming to stream for my birthday. So, fingers crossed I'm back that day. Anyways, I've just reached Greymore. Oh, nice. Greymore's a fun area. I hope you enjoy it. There's lots of interesting creatures to encounter. I shan't expand upon what to expect. But yeah, anyways. Hi, Katie. Welcome in. How's it going? It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. The other thing that we might work on a bit today, if we probably, I'll need to be doing something while parts of this are drying down, and so I've done this is the sketch for tomorrow. Now to explain, this is a bit of this is another bit of a creative interpretation of the word. The word provided for tomorrow's prompt is vessel. Now, vessel has a fairly specific meaning within the Hollow Knight universe lore. There is a boss fight that you can do with something called the Pure Vessel. It's like, it's a whole, vesselage is a whole thing, right? And I shan't go into detail about the Hollow Knight lore and how vessels relate to it, partially because I will get details wrong because I'm not good at this stuff. I think the lore and the storyline is really interesting, but much more than that, I am here for dooting around, making friends, and getting into little fights. I genuinely, on my first playthrough of Hollow Knight, I absorbed basically 0% of the lore. I was just like, oh, look, it's a friend. Oh, I'm doing a fight now. I don't know why. Because I was having streamer brain. I wasn't really paying that much attention to, like, lore tablets and trying to fit things together and do all that. The only reason that I understood the lore at all is that I went and watched Mossbag's, like, 2-hour-long complete lore of Hollow Knight video. So special thanks to Mossbag for doing that, because otherwise I would have been freaking lost. So yeah, you might notice that this doesn't look anything like that, and the reason for that is vessel, in the real world, can also mean something you drink out of. And so I said, okay, so what if the vessels in question are a couple of pint glasses? And what if I just have Hornet, after a long day of doing boss fights, just settles in at the bar, has a nice little, conversation with the publican here over a delicious pint of, like, flea brew or whatever, about about what she's been up to. She's like, I've had a terrible time battling against Grohl. It is a very, it is a very harrowing fight and a very formidable foe. And this, sort of Craig here is like, I definitely, I don't do a lot of fights these days, lass, but I think you're very brave. Anyways, do you want a packet of crisps? Like that kind of thing. I just thought that would be nice. I really like I like letting characters have kind of a nice soft time, especially when they're characters that I like quite a bit. And I do like these characters quite a bit, so here we are. Anywho, I need to figure out what I'm doing with regard to one moment, please. Sorry, I could hear my neighbors, like, directly beneath my studio window quite loudly, and I didn't want them to hear me I didn't want them to hear me talking to myself in the window. So I've closed the window mostly, and I hope that is enough to dampen the noise of me yammering on. Also they're really loud. Like, they're such shouty people. And I don't want their shouty conversations picking up on my microphone on my stream. It's my stream. Anyways, Katie, thank you very much for the 7 stream steak. I hope you enjoy the steaks. I hope you enjoy your 7 steaks. I hope they are perfectly cooked with whatever accompaniments you want. Maybe some chips. Maybe some chips. Maybe some sauteed asparagus and a nice sauce with shallots and butter. The beurre blanc sauce. That's probably good with steak. I don't know. Anyways, it could be a plant-based steak as well, of course, if that's what you prefer. I do. Katie says, these games sound like you'd need a notebook to follow all the lore. It is quite complex, especially since the game doesn't really... For the most part, the game doesn't hand exposition to you. You don't just get, like... You don't get, I mean, on the one hand, you don't get linear progression in the same way that, like, some other games that kind of sort of railroad you to follow a very specific path. Because of the way the game is set up, you can visit different areas of the game in different orders. You can, like, skip areas altogether and potentially miss stuff, which scares the hell out of me. I mean, like, I want to make sure that I catch all the things. I want to find all of the secret doors. I want to do all of the possible adventures that I can get on. Also, I want to make sure I get all of the power-ups and meet all of the cute little NPCs I can befriend. It's important to me. Anyways. But yeah. Where was I? Oh yes, Dan says more pork scratching for Hornet. Yeah! Give her some little snacky doos. What are the... I'm trying to think of, like, British snacks you get at pubs. Like, pork scratching, scampi fries, just crisps. I don't know what. Yeah, scampi fries, says Dan. Yeah. I've never had scampi fries. I have no idea if they would be good. Pop Pringles. Ooh, I had Pringles. I had Pringles for my afternoon snack today. Not branded Pringles, but the 3 times as expensive as just like a thing of crisps. Even the luxury range crisps are about half the price of a pot of gluten-free Pringle equivalents. But I bought them this one time as a special treat. And I feel bad about it because they're really expensive. Scampi fries are good, but bags too small. I mean, I do sometimes, not to be old person, but I do sometimes find that what was I gonna say? Come on, brain. Come on, words. The, like, grab bag sized, like, snack bags of crisps. Sometimes those are too much. And the problem is that I'll eat them anyways, but then my tummy will hurt. And I don't like when my tummy hurts anyways. But yeah, I've never had scampi. So are scampi fries, like, scampi flavored? What shape are they? I don't actually know. I don't actually know what the deal is with scampi fries. They're not on my, like, radar of foodening. Also, I don't know if this is anyone else's bag, but this is very much my bag. I just opened my I just opened my phone to look up a reference for this scene, so I can figure out what I want sort of the background color and details to look like on top of this underpainting that I've done of sort of a pink and purple gradient. I think I want to not overburden it with details, but I think there's like a curtain on one side and some shelves up above. I think this is too... I think the shelves are too tall for you to really be able to see them, though, so I might just kind of... I don't know, maybe just put some, like, molding on the walls or something so it's not just, like, a plain color. Anyways, Petey says, like, oh my god! As Sammy Kelch is, like, so alive, and I'm, like, fangirling, like, so right now. Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh, jeez. Anyways... What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, getting the background color into this. So I've got a blobbit of neutral tint here, and I will grab some of that. But I would like to add to it. But I'm not this area. I'm not doing great at picking up on what sort of the undertone of the color is. Like, it's definitely gray, but is there anything else going on here? It's just kind of gray. I mean, I've zoomed in so far so that you can just see a bit that's, like, solid color, and you can also see, oh, that's a really unflattering angle of my face. Oh no, don't look at me, I'm hideous. Anyways. Actually, hi. Hello. It's nice to see you. Anyways. But yeah, there isn't really, like, an obvious undertone to the color. It's kind of just grayish, I think. I think it's just kind of grayish. So I think maybe I'll just use grayish, but I hope that that's not going to end up looking boring. The curtain on the side does have a bit more of a colored undertone to it, so I might try and add that in, or do I want to? Okay, I'm just going to give everything a wash with this sort of gray wash too. If nothing else, just cover over some of this underpainting. It'll still, like, to the extent that obviously it will still show through, that's kind of the point, but not quite so brightly. Oh no. I've run out of paint. No. Okay. Pick up some more and hope that it blends in. Once again, smooth, decisive strokes of my paintbrush here, trying not to scrub back and forth too much, because otherwise the underpainting will just kind of lift. And we don't want that. Anyways, before coming onto stream, my brain is a little bit discombobulated, because before coming onto stream, I started watching, you know, sometimes something just drops into your awareness and it's like you've been given the most wonderful gift you could possibly receive from the universe. And this gift was one of my favorite genres of entertainment, is someone just making a super, super long video essay on a topic that I've never really given that much thought to. And, oh my god. I am 3.5 hours into a 5.5 hour video essay that Owl Criticism has made about Atlas Shrugged. And, like, I knew the general gist of, like, Ayn Rand's philosophy, and how crappy it is. It's so, y'all, it's so crappy. I don't want to say it's silly, but it's just ideologically, it's so silly. But actually hearing not just like a summary of the book, but also, you know, going into a lot of detail about this video essay is great. I've still got 2 hours to go on it. It's fantastic, and I'm having a wonderful time, and oh my god. Like, oh, you know, I don't ever want to, like, disparage other people's taste in media. I really don't. You can like what you want. You can enjoy what you want. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people who find, like, the prose and the romance of this book enjoyable, but don't actually agree with, like, the grandstanding of philosophies about how, you know, if you are too weak to be attractive and successful, you just need to become not weak. Just try harder. You know, this is someone who makes no distinction between, like, you know, it is as much of a, how shall I say, she has no apparent time for, you know, this person potentially was successful in business because their parents were successful business people. And so they kind of were given a massive advantage at A, getting into business at, like, a pretty high level, and B, growing up in an environment where they were able to learn about doing successful business people things, and already having inbuilt connections due to the fact that their parents are successful business people. Yada, yada, yada. Like, that feels like a very basic notion to me. But no. So you can see why this is, like, the favorite book of some of the worst people. Because they love they must love the philosophy of, like, you know, everyone is an individual and you should just look out for yourself, and having regard for, like being community minded is bad, actually. You should just we should all just look after ourselves. Which I think is bad. Oh, also, programming note, I'm gonna have to dash off right at the end of stream to go vote. Because there are elections, for, like, city council in my country right now, including my constituency. So, as soon as stream is done, I'm going to raid into someone, hopefully find someone that we know reasonably well, so I can raid in and just be like, I have to leave immediately because I need to go vote. So, just FYI, that is a thing that will happen. But yeah, no, it's just every subsequent thing I hear about this book and what happens in the book, it's so embarrassing. Like, it's just, I did that earlier. I always enjoy shouting into the void. What, voting? You know what, do I enjoy doing my civic duty? It depends. I'm not going to get into, I don't want to get into, contemporary British politics, and certainly not at a municipal level, here today, because A, probably a lot of you don't care, and B, I don't want to feel sad. Yeah, it is a weird time in a weird place, that we are politically feeling, kind of that, like, I don't know what to do feeling, with, like, a pit of dread in my tummy. You know what I mean? That, like, it's one of those, I feel like this is one of those times where if you, certainly, I don't know how, like, racists are feeling, but certainly if you are to the left of the political spectrum, I feel like there is, for me anyways, a feeling of, like, things could get worse and go wrong in so many potential, like, terrible, shitty ways. You know, if, like, with regard to the current government and what a subsequent government might be formed. This isn't an election for, like, you know, the main seat of government. This is for, like, mayors and stuff. And not really knowing what to do about it, and having, you know, no clear feeling that, like, the one thing that you do, or the one party that you vote for, is going to be the one that makes everything be okay. Or at least makes everything be tolerable, which is what I have in the past often settled for. And I think oftentimes is the best case scenario. It's a bad time. It's a bad time, y'all. And when I think about it too hard, I feel stressed. So, what do we do? Do we allow ourselves to succumb to the feeling of, well, nothing I do is going to make a positive difference anyway, so I'm just going to allow myself to fall into apathy and just abstain from voting? No! No, 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 no. We do not do that. We do not do that. What we do... we do. What we do is, to the best of our ability, we vote. We go to the polls when there is an election in our constituency, and we cast our votes. And we hope that enough like-minded people vote for something that doesn't suck. And that's why I have to dash off at the end of stream, because I will have to go to the polls. Because voting is important. Even if it feels like everything sucks, don't let yourself succumb to that feeling of, like, well, everything's just gonna suck anyway, so I might as well not bother. No, 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 no. That is bad people are lying to you. And bad people are scared that you're gonna go vote for something that they don't want. So, go vote for the thing that you want. If you can. That's my motivational speech for today. I don't know where we started, and I don't know where we ended up, but I have to go say hi to my moderator / spouse, because he's just come home. Hi, baby! I was just letting them know that I have to go vote after stream. And it kind of devolved into a rant about how it's important to vote. Yay. How are you? How was your day? I'm glad it's done. I'm glad you're home.
You're finished. You're on holiday now.
I'm fine. Hell, I'm still working.
Not proper work.
proper work. I'm a professional streamer, sweetheart. It bloody well is proper work. Anyways, I love you. Hi. Has he voted, says Dan? What, my moderator / spouse? No, we're going together. Sammy hasn't breathed for 7 minutes. Heck, you might not be wrong. Oh, beans. Okay, I'm gonna let my phone fall down because apparently it was attached to that coaster that my tea was on. I'm gonna get my phone that had fallen onto the floor. It's charging right now. Oh, good. It's at 53%. Wizard. Okay. Anyways. My throat is giving me trouble at the moment. I'm having the itchy airways. I don't know if that's possibly some like seasonal allergy gubbins going on in there. I know not. What I do know is it's annoying as heck. Okay, I've loaded some more neutral tint onto my brush, and I just noticed that the floor of this place is actually like a dark red, which I had not noticed it before. It matches the bed sheets. Oh, how cute is that? Okay, cool. But the background is quite sort of grayish, but that's good to know. I will lay a deep red over that. That'll be nice. Okay. I need to make a lot more shade here because I don't want to run out halfway through again. Okay. But I would like this to be a little bit darker. And when this is drying down, I think I will take a look at making a start on tomorrow's piece. I want to try and get tomorrow's and the day after tomorrow's done by tomorrow, so I can spend Saturday packing, and checking into our flights. I'm flying out on Sunday, by the way, to go to Canada for a couple of weeks. If you were not aware, that is what I am doing. And I think it's going to be a very fun time. At least I hope it's going to be a fun time. I'm trying to plan stuff. I'm trying to make plans for like fun activities and what have you on the way. The carpet matches the bedding. That's cute, says Katie. Yeah. I don't know if it's carpeting or if it's just like some cloth on the floor so it's a little softer. I'm not sure. But it is very decor wise. It's very cute. All right. We've got some funky bloomy paint gubbins happening here, which hopefully people like. I like the textures with my painty doos. I just think it's more fun. Carpet is a loose term in this context. Yeah. I don't actually know. It looks like some kind of soft flooring, but I don't know precisely what it is. And that's fine. Okay, I'm adding a bit of this like peony color to my black dark gray paint to do this like curtain section over here. Which also appears to be made out of some kind of cloth. And is a lovely color. So hopefully that's cute. Is that cute? I don't know. Dan says, shack on the no! Not when you've got a beautiful comfy bed. Why would you do that? Anyways. I mean, I don't know what she gets up to if her girlfriend comes to visit. They're grown-ups. They can get up to whatever shenanigans they want, but I ain't painting it. That's not the kind of challenge that this is. I think one of the stipulations of doing the officially the Hollow Knight Art Month challenge is to keep it safe for work. And that's in part because obviously I'm streaming it Kirsty, who is the creator of the event, will also be doing like a showcase of works by anyone who contributed to the challenge. And obviously, if it's going to be on live stream, it has to be safe for Twitch. So there you have it. Anyways, because I know, listen, I know I have done enough Google image searching for reference images for these challenges that I know that some of y'all's artwork gets pretty spicy. And you know, you do you. Like, it's fine. It may not be for me, but not everything has to be for me. That's okay. I certainly do a lot of artwork that I don't expect everyone to like my artwork. In fact, a lot of people don't like my artwork, and you know what? That's fine. Like, it's fine if you want to just be, like, wrong and have bad taste. Listen, you're allowed to have terrible taste and dislike things that are objectively amazing. I can't stop you. I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. Ugh. Anyways, Katie says Hollow Knight After Dark of Cold. No, thank you. Alquill says Hollow Knight is underground, it's always dark. That's true. I mean, I will say, Silksong, one of the big differences artistically between Silksong and Hollow Knight for me is that there's definitely more color. Like, if you look at, many people have observed this, if you look at, like, earlier trailers of Silksong, things like Hornet's poncho in the backgrounds and, like, sort of the mossy areas that are very green, that kind of thing, the colors go from being, like, kind of muted, similar to Hollow Knight, to being significantly more vibrant. Like, her poncho is a brighter shade of red. And I'm loving that this year, because I'm getting to play with colors other than grayish blue. When I've done Hollow Knight Art Month for the past few years, I have a palette somewhere in the studio, and all of the colors in this palette are, like, there's bluish black and reddish black and brownish black. They're all really dark, really muted versions of themselves, which is really cool and fun to work with. But also, I don't know, I'm kind of craving a tittle touch more vibrancy these days, and so I'm really liking getting to play with more vibrancy in this year's challenge, with incorporating a lot of works from Silksong. I do have a couple pieces that are based on Hollow Knight, but actually I've tried to bend as many prompts as I can to Silksong stuff, just because... Oh, jeez! Okay, that's the front door. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, I got it. We'll see. Someone was asking if we're voting and wanted to bring us a leaflet, and I'm like, it's fine, we are. Oh. Okay. Hi. That was a political candidate asking if I was planning to, if I'd voted today, and I let him know that we will be voting later. Well, I don't know who you're voting for, sweetheart.
I don't know who it was. So.
It was a man. I didn't get his name. Anyways, but yeah, I had a few courier deliveries today.
Attention.
So I thought it might have been that.
Twitch user
Kirsty!
Sammy Kelsch.
Choppers.
Oh, Beans! Hello! Sorry, I literally just had to run up the stairs. So I'm a little bit out of breath, but hi everybody, welcome in. Also, GT's, thank you for the posture check. And Mythical Myra, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, everything is happening all at once. People, what are you doing? Why are you doing everything? Why? Stop it. Don't stop it, but hi. Why is everyone doing all of the channel point redeems at once. I don't know how to do this. Kirsty, how the heck was your stream? What were you up to today? It is so good to see you. Welcome in. Hello, hello. And hello to you two's. Hello, Myra. Welcome in. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Jam, welcome in. Hi, how are you? It's lovely to see you. Towels, hello, hello. Scrap Metal Dragon, thank you for the hydrate. I will take a sip of my beverage. I need it. Kirsty, obviously. Hi, hello. How was your stream? Hello. Anyways, Dan says, was it a baddie or a goodie? It was a medium-y, I'd say, I guess, depending on your, personal experience. With regard to my constituency, I think it's a decenty. But I don't really want to go. I don't want to go on about it. Ratsa, hello, welcome in. It's lovely to see you, Q2s. I am stretching my spine as I attempt to speak. Scrap Metal Dragon wants to know about tea. I will do so in just a second. Kirsty says, "Aw beans to you too." Welcome in. Rex, hello. Q2s wants an affirmation.
Plap, plap,
Carson,
plap, plap, plap,
welcome
plap.
in. Lovely to see you. Thank you for the plaps. Who plapped? Who plapped? What's happening? Scrap Metal Dragon, thank you very much for the plaps. Hello, hello, hello. Carson, thank you for the posture check. I am... Ow! Okay, my spine just made a really fun sound, so thank you for that. There's also a terrible drawing time for Bag Milk Popsicle. Q2s, why? Also, Nita. Did I say hello, Nita? Hello, Nita. Q2s, I will tell you about coffee in just a minute. Catching up with chat as best as I can. Oh my god. Stream was good, says Kirsty. I was finishing the art I was making yesterday with you. Almost done. I am behind. You can do this. You got this. I believe in you. You got this. You are so good. You have so much time. You can do it. Cham says the sleeping hornet is excellent. Listen, I'm tired and sometimes I like to draw my blurgos living the dream. That's the thing. Rex, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in, Rex. Thank you. Scrap Metal Dragon, thank you again for the kiwi sticker. That was very, very cute and fun. Skittle, hello, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Jam is lurking. Thank you very much for the lurk. I think we overstimulated her, so Scrap Metal Dragon. Everything's fine. I'll do a hydrate. Thank you. Anyways. And an affirmation. Thank you, Carson. Okay, I've got a raft of things to do, so I guess let's just abandon this painting for a while. First of all, hi everybody, welcome in. For anyone who's new here, my name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Friday mornings, and every once in a while on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra crispy. Today, I am feeling like a soggy, vegan, gluten-free chicken nugget. Eddie, thank you very much for the lurk. Anyways, and we are working on a Hollow Knight Art Month piece. This is Hornet taking a nap in her bell home. It is very clearly not done. Right now, it looks like absolute butt. I hope it will look better later. I really do. I make no guarantees. Because I don't know yet. Anyways, Kirsty, how was your stream? What were you up to today? Is there anything you would like to share with the class? We are an art tax optional stream, and I'm very, very, very happy to share if you want us to go have a little creepo on your socials or whatever, or if you want to send me anything in a whisper, you can do that too. Or if you just want to chillax, that's also all right. It's entirely up to you. If anyone who doesn't know, and if you came in on the raid, you probably know, and if you've been here, you probably also know, I streamed on Kirsty's Silksong Sketcher stream with her yesterday. It was a really, really fun time. My camera was pixelated for a while because the internet hates us, but we had a really nice time chatting, and then I had a mid-pizza afterwards. So yeah, anyways. Let me get a shot. I don't think I've shouted out Kirsty yet. Oh man, I'm such a bad streamer. Oh no. Please give Kirsty a follow if you haven't already. Kirsty is really fun and lovely. Gotta go do my democracy soon, says Kirsty. Oh hell yeah, I'm doing that as soon as my stream is done as well. In fact, just as you came in, I had just come back from answering the front door because a man came to the front door with like a handful of leaflets asking whether or not we'd voted. Welcome back from democracy, says Casa. Hell yeah. Lovely to see everyone who has an election today doing their civic duty. I will be doing that after stream. And, yeah, looking for it. Sammy is telling a fib they are an awesome streamer. No, you're an awesome streamer. Not a bad streamer, just catching up on mayhem. I'm trying my best. There's so many things are happening. Okay. But, I'm gonna pull up a biscuit for Kirsty. There's Kirsty! Yay! Alright. Let's go have a little look-see of what Kirsty's been up to. And see what's going on. Also, wow, I am so warm from, like, running up and down the stairs. That's really embarrassing. Anyways. I think we should, let me, hopefully this will work. Hopefully I won't be thwarted by my, it's done it again. One moment, please. Instagram? Play ball. Anyways, oh yeah, the pizza was just okay. Sasa, thank you for coming back in for democracy. Congratulations on doing your civic duty. We love to see it. I hope that our preferred candidates win in all of our constituencies. Anyways, this is my Instagram. This is what I did yesterday. This is new. Just on her way to, I don't know, experience a lot of bloodshed probably. She's got a song in her heart and also murder. This was Moss Beans. Kirsty dubbed this Moss Beans, and I love that. Love wins. And this is Mr. Mushroom flying through the sky, as you do. Anyways, this is Kirsty's art, which this is so good, and I love it with my whole heart. So obviously Kirsty's been doing, Hollow Knight Art Month also. There was one dog at Democracy. Yay! I'm so happy! I'm so happy there was a dog, Casa. That's awesome. Tell says, Smoochy Magoo, my favorite feral child. Flukes. Yep, absolutely. That is flukeness. This is so good. They're so gross. And this painting of them is so good. I love it so much. But, like, your painting style is so pretty that they're gross, but it's still a pretty painting. That is a skill. That is an incredible skill on display. Also, look at the mushy. I love how you have managed to, I feel like you've managed to imbue the little guy with, like, a bewildered surprise in their expression with so little in the way of facial features, and general features, all things considered, to work with. It is a skill. It's impressive. It's delightful. And also just having a little bath. And they're too little for the pool. That is so stinking cute. I love it. If you're not following Kirsty, please do that. My art is pro flukaganda. Big fluke mama got me, says Kirsty. I mean, she is the alluring god of motherhood, so should we be surprised? It's right there in the name. The description. Alluring. Sasa says the knight is like, what? Yeah. That is exactly the expression that they're expressing there. I love it so much. Let me get another shout out for Kirsty in the chat. Kirsty is a wonderful artist, very skilled, very cool, does amazing things. It is super fun to hang out with. So if you are not following her, I wholeheartedly recommend that you do so. And if you're still here, thank you. Anywho, I have a huge amount of channel point redeems that I have to now try and circle back through to make sure that I haven't missed any of them. So let's see what I've missed. Okay, so I think I'm back at the start. I did that hydrate. I did the posture check. I need to tell you more about tea. Okay, today is a massive herbal tea day. This is, if you have a specific question about tea, feel free to sound off in the chat and I'd be very happy to answer it for the channel point redeemer. This is almost finished. This is pineapple mint. It doesn't taste like pineapple to me, but what it does taste like is this tea that my grandmother used to make when I was young, which was like just hibiscus leaves and mint with lemon juice in it and then a ton of sugar, and it was so good. I mean, the sweetness probably helped, but it was just, oh, it was so nice. We need to get a fluke farm on every street corner, says Rex. Do we though? Q2 says, can we swap them for Tinkle Venus? I would love to see. If Tinkle Venus was just hanging out in my neighborhood, I'd be absolutely delighted. I'd be like, please play me your little song and I'll do a little dance. That'd be nice. Sasav is on the way back to employment. Have a lovely employment and thank you very much for the lurk. Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, this is pineapple mint tea. I'm almost finished drinking it. It is a very nostalgic taste for me. And of course it's discontinued by the tea company. I panic bought like a ton of bags that are, some of which are technically out of date now, but as far as I'm concerned, if they still taste good, I'll just keep drinking them until I run out. Or they start tasting bad. But anyways, Q2 says, I think I know what I'll do for Halloween. Tinkle Bean is but creepy. Oh no! Oh no! I mean, your mileage may vary as to whether or not you thought my Hornet costume was creepy last Halloween, so fair. Also, I would love if you did that. My second tea for today is strawberry pomegranate, and it's like the laziest method of making iced tea. Because, you can make iced tea by, like, brewing tea in cold water and leaving it in the fridge for many, many hours. You can brew iced tea by making a hot tea and then immediately putting it on ice. Or you can make iced tea by just brewing a cup of tea and then letting it sit until it gets room temperature and then drinking it. And that's what I did with this one. Anyways, creepily sings song and taps rods together. Oh, bless. Oh, shout out to the time I terrible drawing timed Tinkle Venus, and I couldn't remember what his little tappy instruments look like, so I just gave him spoons. He's just playing the there he is. He's just playing the spoons, and why not? Okay, so that was tell me more about tea. What next? What is the next thing that I have to do in my queue of things? Oh, we have an affirmation from Q2s. Okay, let's give y'all a nice little affirmation for today. Let's be affirmative, shall we? Why not? Haha, he's so cute, says Q2. Hell yeah. Anyways, okay. I have an affirmation deck here. This is a vampire and stuff related affirmation deck. I hope that's fun. I think that's fun. It's one of the 2 affirmation decks that I own. And I would like to provide you with some affirmative informations before the ads run, because the ads are about to run, and then we'll do the rest of the channel point redeems, because there's like another 12 of them, because I don't know, I should have set cooldown times for those things, but I didn't. People don't normally redeem them that much, so thank you. Anyways, sorry if my energy was a little bit slightly overwhelmed at the beginning there, but I was my brain is broken. Anyways, hi. Okay, so here's our card. Dum da dum. Oh, keep love through eternity. Hell yeah, I like that. I like that as an affirmation. I mean, I think that's just personally that's just something that I do. It's, this actually reminds me. Okay, this is kind of going off in a direction, but you know how like societally and marketing, like, there's a lot of focus on, like, don't, for the love of God, don't let anyone find out that that you, like, age, right? That you get old. Don't talk about your ages, chat. And I will love Tinkle Venus eternally. Hell yeah. I saw like a little video of someone talking to a couple, like, just outside a railway station or something, and they were like, yeah, so, like, what do you like about your partner? And this lady says, like, oh, I love the little crinkles that she gets around her eyes. They're so cute. And, they were both, like, older ladies, like, probably, like, my mom's age, right? And I was just like, that's so nice to hear. Because hell yeah. Like, you don't, I don't know where I was going with that. I just think it's nice that, just a reminder that just because, like, marketing tells you that, like, God forbid you like, age because time is linear, like, it doesn't preclude being loved. But additionally, also, like, I don't know, just, I hope that whatever nonsense life and, like, the world throws at us doesn't make us feel cynical and defeatist. If anything, there is so much strength in just continuing to just love each other and love the world and want to see things get better for everyone because we love the world, That sounds real tacky and hokey and like the kind of thing they'd say in a superhero movie. But I don't care. I'm right. Love is good and powerful and important. Okay? Okay. Anyways, ads are about to run and I don't want you to miss anything, so I'm going to go to an ad break. And I'm going to try and make more coherent sense when I return, because I feel like I'm just yammering. So, here's the BRB screen. I'll be back in a minute. Please enjoy the BRB music. I'm sorry if you have to see ads. Okay, bye. Also, I just wrote it in chat, but I just want to state for the record, I am high-key jealous that Ratsa had mozzarella sticks, and I wish that were me also, in addition. Why do I not have mozzarella sticks? Ah, beans. Anyways, BRB. Good news, everyone. The ads are done. Hi, everybody. I'm back. I'm sorry you had to look at ads, but I sure am glad to have returned. I hope that you had a pleasant break. And now I can continue on with the painting. So that's exciting for, I don't know about y'all, but that's exciting for me. So I did notice when I was looking at the screen grab I was able to pull up of the Bell home that Hornet's floor is like a deep red. So I'm just going to decant a little bit out onto my brush and stuff just before I remember that I've got like 500,000 more channel point redeems to do. I need to tell you about coffee. Okay. I don't... Q2s, do you have a specific question about coffee, or do you just want me to waffle on about it? Because I can waffle on about it if you want. But, you know, I also don't... I don't have to. But, what shall I say? I had an AeroPress coffee today, and if you're not familiar with the mechanism of the AeroPress, according to the coffee expert people, you don't have to do the upside down method, but I prefer the upside down method, which kind of I realize it's how does okay. We have a question. So enough about my AeroPress. How does coffee change with milk? Why are we putting it in there, sugar? Who came up with that, says Q2s. I don't know where the origin of putting milk into coffee came from. I believe the addition of sugar is quite old. The addition of sugar to coffee, I can tell you right now, predates the addition of milk. What other things do people put in coffee? Great question. But milk, I don't actually know how long milk has been a thing in coffee. Certainly the number of like espresso based coffee drink variations that we have feel like are like a 20th century invention. Things like all of the lattes, cappuccinos, flat whites, cortados, yada yada yada, all of that jazz, macchiatos, etc., etc. But is AeroPress an airplane suplex as a coffee maker? No, it is a coffee press that's effectively, you have these two cylinders that kind of nest in each other. One of them has the narrower of the two cylinders has like a rubber stopper, and on the end of the wider cylinder, there is a little cap that you screw on that you put a little piece of filter inside. It comes with paper filters, but I actually have a reusable metal filter that I use because it saves paper. That's nice, right? But the metal filter does let through a tiny amount more like particulate, so you get a slightly less clean brew. In addition, I feel like the water passes through it a little bit faster, so I like to do the inverted brew method. Anyways, but why do we put things in coffee? I think the range of like lighter roasted, more, sort of specialty processed, single origin coffees that we have now, we didn't have like a few decades ago, to be honest. There was a lot more just like medium roast, dark roast, French roast coffees that were roasted to taste roasty predominantly. And that can give you a brew that's quite bitter. And some people liked the taste of coffee but don't like that bitterness. And one of the ways to take the edge off of the bitterness is to add something like milk and sugar. Sugar balances the bitterness. As Alquill says in the chat, milk contains fat. Fat binds to tannins, and that will make the coffee less bitter as well. And it also just adding an additional liquid to the brewed coffee also just dilutes the coffee, so it doesn't taste as like concentrated. So it's a combination of factors happening here. If you want black coffee that doesn't taste as bitter, but you don't want to add milk or sugar, a tiny amount of saline solution, just like a drop of saline solution. It won't make it salty, but the saltiness does counteract the bitterness. So there's a thing. There are places where a traditional addition to coffee is cardamom. You see that in certain like Middle Eastern coffee cultures. That you can buy ground coffee that's already had ground cardamom blended into it. I think that's a really nice flavor combination. I think that's really, really pleasant. Likewise, in some countries in Southeast Asia, you will find a very popular coffee accoutrement is actually sweetened condensed milk. Which makes, unsurprisingly, a coffee that is very creamy and very sweet, because sweetened condensed milk is both of those things, and it kind of does away with the need to use milk and sugar, because it kind of kills two birds with one stone, but it will create a coffee that is very sweet and very creamy, if that is your vibe. Sweet and condensed milk, says Rat. So that is not what I said, but sure. You know what? I don't know of anyone who puts Swede in their coffee, but hey, there's also a way of like, I think this is, and I can't remember where this is from. I want to say this might also be, a Southeast Asian thing, but to actually use, I'm Swede and I do not want to be put in coffee, says Ratza. I would never. But who puts egg in their coffee? Because I know egg coffee is also a thing. And it is also Vietnamese, egg coffee, yeah. And using the you know, if you've ever like whisked together raw egg yolks with sugar, you know it creates this like wonderful, really silky, really creamy, sort of foamy, nice sort of like foam, like creamy, foamy, moussey kind of stuff. And that is another Vietnamese coffee accoutrement, is actually to do like sort of whisked up egg yolks and sugar, which I could see being really delicious. I could see that being really delicious. I don't know what temperature it's served, because I feel like if the coffee is like piping hot, does the egg yolk not want to try like cook kind of, and it becomes like a like custardy, but I guess it doesn't. Or maybe you just drink it really quickly. Rex says my brother used to put orange juice in his coffee. I've seen that like went viral on short form media a little while ago. Like, it's not something that I've tried, but I have heard that it can be pretty nice. I have not tested this. I don't know. I think I'm wary of orange juice combined with other things. If nothing else, for the fact that orange juice after brushing your teeth is the most horrifying experience that you can have. But coffee is a very different profile to mint. I do not think mint pairs well with coffee. No. And I love mint, but I don't think it pairs with coffee. But that's just me personally. I know that like the peppermint mocha is a Christmas classic. So I realize I'm in the minority on that. But there are actually a lot of like flavoring combinations that I don't like paired with coffee. I think chocolate works really well. I think cardamom works really well. I think this would have been before short-form content existed. Well, unsurprising then that a short-form content creator managed to make something viral that already existed. And suddenly everyone is doing it, and everyone is making their own content, testing it out, you know. I've seen that before, where someone's like, oh my god, you will not believe this game-changing ingredient. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been doing that for years. What are you talking about? And they'll just be like, I freeze my ginger root. And I'm like, yeah, so do I. That's just normal. Anyway. Anyways, by the way, if you like really like finely, like, you know, grated ginger, like fresh ginger root in like your curries or whatever, freeze it. It grates down on the microplane so much easier. And also you don't have to peel it. So it's great if you hate to do that. And I do. Anyways, that is a massive tangent though. But yeah, the breadth of things that get put in coffee it's a lot. And a lot of it is quite regional as well. Like stuff that predates, you know, people doing weird hacks and whatever on the socials for the clickage. But yeah, orange juice and coffee is not a combination that I would ever thought like, yeah, I want to try that. But like, I have mild curiosity, but I don't want to ruin a cup of coffee if it turns out I think it's gross. That's the problem. You know? I don't. Anyways. Oh, and then of course there's the espresso tonic has gained popularity in the past few years as well. Which is literally, you know, it's like a gin and tonic, except instead of gin, you pour a shot of espresso onto your tonic water. Why not? Coffee has a lot of interesting aromatic flavors, and tonic water has a lot of interesting aromatic flavors. I feel like it would be quite bitter, but if you like bitter flavors, and I like some bitter flavors, then why not? I have a terrible drawing time from Q2's from half an hour ago. I'm so sorry. And also posture tech from Carson, which I'm pretty sure I already did half an hour ago. But bagged milk popsicle. Yep. That is a concept. That sure is a concept, my friend. Why not? Okay. I have set my paints and stuff to one side. Hopefully they won't fall over. And I've got... okay, so here's the deal. Terrible drawing time. For 5,000 channel points, I've got 5 minutes or less to draw a character concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on a terrible drawing canvas. This is my current one. I always get scared doing terrible drawing time that's when like a raid from an unfamiliar streamer is going to come in and like, you know, potentially like tens of people are going to see my artwork for the first time and think that this is the caliber of work that they have to expect. And you know, maybe it is. Maybe that's okay. But also it is called terrible drawing time. So there we go. Heck. Okay. Anyways, apparently if I want to have a delicious Vietnamese egg coffee, because my looking up where egg coffee came from on my Google, it suggests this cafe in Ho Chi Minh City. So, like, I mean, that feels like it's going to be a very expensive coffee, all things considered. Even if I don't know. It's probably not an unreasonable amount of Vietnamese dong, but like, how expensive is it going to be for me to fly to Ho Chi Minh City for that? Anyways, I pulled up my phone because I was going to set a timer, but this isn't even the phone that I have my timer on. It's this one. Sammy's terrible drawings are always way better than my best, says Ratsa. Don't be ridiculous. Q2 says, Sammy, for your bagged milk documentary, can you please try this? Put a stick in bagged milk and freeze it. I'll pay for the bag and the emotional damage this will inevitably cause. I swear it will be great content, either for TikTok or for the outtakes. I honestly don't even know how I would do that. Like, I genuinely don't. I have concerns that the bag would burst. I have concerns that milk would get everywhere in my parents' freezer and be really hard to clean. I have so many concerns. But I am making a YouTube video about bagged milk. Please be nice to me. Please be nice to me. I mean, we know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be like a frozen block of milk with a stick in it. And then when it thaws out, the milk is going to be kind of gross and weird, because milk gets kind of gross and weird when you freeze and thaw it out. Anyways, but I will draw a terrible drawing time of it for you. And I will make it as cool as I possibly can. Here's the timer. Here's 5 minutes on the clock, starting now. I'm trying my best. Chad, I'm trying my best, and I'm just a little creature, and this is supposed to be, this isn't just a filming trip, this is a relaxing holiday for me, okay? You have no data to back that up, hence the experiment. You don't know what kind of data I've got. You don't know. Do you think I've never, do you think milk has never frozen in my presence? Because I can tell you it certainly has. There's actually an interesting conversation to be had about that, because on a competitive scale, there is a type of preparation of milk that apparently makes it extra creamy and delicious if you're using it to make like an espresso-based coffee drink that's called freeze distillation, where you freeze milk and then thaw it out and then like filter it in some way in so doing. But it has to be frozen and then thawed out in order to get it to this like consistency. Anyways, this is the absolute stuff of nightmares. And I hate it. I honestly don't know how else to draw this. Ta-da! Here is the culmination of sticking a lolly stick into bagged milk and making it into a giant-ass popsicle. It's just milk! It's just a frozen block of milk. Why would you want that? It's going to be gross and hard to eat. It's going to be too much to consume at once because of the size that milk bags are. It's not serving size, I'll tell you that much. And it's also going to have a weird texture because, like, the milk solids are probably going to separate out from the water a little bit, and it's going to be nasty and unpleasant. So, hey. Hell yeah, I'm already excited for your documentary. You don't need to hype me up more. Dairy is hard to freeze well, says Tiles. Well, ice cream isn't easy. Yeah. Ice cream, like, if you've ever tried to make ice cream at home without, like, a churn of some kind, and had the experience of ending up with kind of an inedible, crystalline, frozen block that tastes kind of bad, that's because milk is hard to freeze. Ice cream is the texture that it is because A, it has other stuff added to it. It is generally a very high-fat dairy product in order to achieve that texture. And if you start reducing the amount of fat in your ice cream, it gets more crystalline and less pleasant in terms of its texture unless you add additional things like thickeners and, you know, like non-dairy fats back to it. And also, whilst freezing, you have to maintain this continuous churn, which churns air into the mixture, which whips it up and allows it to have that nice soft texture. If it doesn't have air whipped into it, it will just become a block of ice. That is nasty. Anyways, hello Huggy Bear, welcome in. I can attest to frozen and defrosted milk tasting nasty. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's not good. I'm not doing that. When are you going to Canada? Flying out on Sunday. I'm nervous. But anyways, here's your, you know what, I'm writing a slogan for it. I kind of ran out of space at the end, but it says, Milksicle. Why would you want that? Yay! Rex says, at least you weren't planning to fly Spirit. Oh yeah, I heard that they suffered. Rex has sent a DM saying, you'll need a popsicle like this or larger for a whole bag of milk. Mesh said I should send this to you. And it's just a picture of a very large lolly stick. Thank you. That's very kind. And let's stop that timer. Anyways, that's your terrible drawing time. I hope you like it. It was really fun. Yay. There's a good reason you don't see milk-based popsicles, says Katie. Yeah. You do, like, you do see, like, ice creams on a stick, but that's specifically ice cream on a stick, or something adjacent to ice cream on a stick. So it's prepared in the way that ice cream is, which gives it the good texture. But yeah. Shut down overnight and canceled like 4,000 flights, says Rex. Ah, jeez Louise. It is really unfortunate. Like, for anyone who was planning to fly Spirit, for anyone who, I guess, worked for them, some pilots were told mid-flight, Jesus flipping Murphy, that's awful. That is just awful. To do that to your workforce, and also anyone who's, like, you know, a patron of your business. And I've seen people dunking on it, but the thing is, like, it is really frustrating and worrying to see, you know, like, affordable things, because I think they marketed themselves as, like, a more affordable airline, or, like, one of the more sort of affordable airlines, but that's just because you have to pay for everything individually. But, like, the regular, like, mainline airlines also do that now. Which I personally find really frustrating. Like, I'm flying British Airways, which is, you know, like a nice airline, right? Or, you know, it has the vibe of, like, a nice airline. But if I wanted to select seats on our flight from London to Toronto and the flight from Toronto to London, when we booked it, we would have had to pay an additional 3 figures just to be able to say we want to sit in this row, like on the aisle and middle seat or whatever. And that's so much money, and we're poor. So no. But, like, no, and I'm mad about it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be sitting there refreshing the page, on Saturday, exactly, like, T-minus 24 hours plus a couple of minutes, to make sure that we are able to jump in exactly 24 hours before the flight to check in online. Like, I used to be like, oh, I don't care about online check-in, and for the most part, I don't care about online check-in, and the only reason that I do now for flights is that that's when you can pick your seats without having to pay. And I'm really scared that we're gonna end up in a situation where we're not able to book seats next to each other. Because that will not fly. That will not fly for a flight that long, and I'm scared. I'm very, very scared. I'm not normally scared of flying, but honestly, the possibility of flying and not being sat next to my partner when we're both on the same flight, that makes me scared of flying. I don't know how hard I can leverage, like, you know, my mental health with like a flight crew being like, can I trade seats with someone, please? You know what I mean? Like, I will cry. And it will be deeply embarrassing and uncomfortable for everyone around me, and especially myself. I don't want to have a public meltdown on an airplane, y'all, but I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to sit next to my partner. And people be like, well, you should have paid for it. Then it's like, it's too expensive. And I don't think that's fair. Anyways. And there's no reason, like, the seat, like, they have the same number of seats no matter what. So they don't have to charge that much for seat selection. They just chose to do that. And I don't want to, you know, I don't think that I should have to, no, like, get in the bin. Anyways, okay, catching up with chat. That's enough of me having a preemptive anxiety. Rex says, Spirit's failure was a long time coming. It was kind of accelerated, but the overnight full stop was very surprising. An intense way to go about it. Yeah. I wonder if there was a reason that they didn't want to give an advance warning that they were... I mean, this is like a crappy way to do it, for sure. This is such a, like, the fact that people's flights are canceled, you know, potentially at the last minute, that pilots are finding out and, like, crew are finding out, like, in the air is a terrible way to do it. But, like, I don't know where I was going with that statement, but it just seems so mean and bad. Katie says the other option was selling out to the U.S. government and handing over about half the fleet for a pittance. Ew, that's also bad. They were offering 90% federal ownership for a bailout, says Rex. Essentially becoming a form of public transportation, even that was considered too little too late. Man, I wonder if, like, the fact that it was, like, so abrupt, is it, like, something that... Is it something that, like, I don't know, that, like, you know, like, upper managed executive knew was happening and they just wanted to try and put it off for as long as possible, which maybe. Maybe they were concerned that if people had advance notice that, like, hey, your jobs are going to be ending soon, that people would just leave. And you know what? Like, I would just leave. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm looking for another job right now. Goodbye. Right? Like, the official court ruling was the jet fuel crisis, but it's been a couple of years of intense maneuvering to stave off liquidation, says Rex. They couldn't declare the kind of bankruptcy that allowed them to continue operating because they declared it too recently. Ugh. That just reminds me. And what show was it where someone was like, you know, it's like, well, you could declare bankruptcy, and they just shouted, I declare bankruptcy. That's not what it means. I'm pretty sure you have to fill out a form. I don't know. Anyways, I confess it's not really an airline that serves where I live, so I'm not super familiar with Spirit Airlines, except that I know that they were one of the, I declare bankruptcy. This is cute as heck. But I know it is one of those sort of, or at least it was one of those sorts of airlines where, the business model was very, you know, keep the prices low, but charge for everything. I was looking at possible, you know, sort of travel options and stuff recently for forthcoming journeys that we might make for as low cost as possible because we are not moneyed, but I'd still like to be able to have a little nice vacation outside of my house every once in a while. That color is lush, by the way. I adore it. Anyways, didn't have enough money to wind down operations, but they also did very little to help the people they stranded and laid off. That is so shitty. This just boo. Katie says there's a petition going to crowdfund buying Spirit and resurrecting it as a co-op airline. That would be wild. That would be wild. Well, good luck, I guess. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I was looking at options, and there was so the airlines charge you for everything. Like, I get that. And, you know, like the budget airlines that do a lot of fairly short haul trips will, you know, often be like, you know, like you have to pay extra if you want to check a bag, blah blah blah. But also, oh god, there's this one style of airplane in the British Airways fleet that does some of these, like, short haul journeys, you know, shorter journeys to places not super far from us in Europe, at least, like Denmark or the Netherlands or, you know, probably like Germany or whatever. And their overhead bins are so, you know, everybody knows, the airline manufacturers know what size a cabin suitcase is, right? You know what the dimensions are, you know what fits. So why in God's name do they have, like, these airplanes where the overhead bins are too short to be able to, like, stack the suitcases on their sides, which means they can fit fewer suitcases into them, which means that, like, half of the people who brought a cabin suitcase onto the flight have to, like, check it and put it in the hold. That's inconvenient and stupid. and I hate it. This has happened to my moderator slash spouse and I more than once, and it's just like, you like, we all know what the standard suitcase size is. You should be able to fit like passenger number amount of suitcases in the overhead bins. Like, that should be a no-brainer, you know? Anyways. But there was this airline that we looked at flying with to go on a holiday, and we've decided that no, because they, instead of being like, okay, you can pay this amount to, you know, have a seat on the plane and have, you know, a small personal item like a handbag and then a suitcase in the overhead bin, and you can pay this extra amount if you want to check any bag, right? But no, this one is like, okay, you pay this amount if you want to have a seat on the plane and have a bag that will fit under the seat. And then you pay this extra, even larger amount of money if you want to use the overhead bin and check a bag. And it's just like, that is just punishing people who are going on like a 3-day city break. It's like they know that traveling between, say, in this case, I think it was London and Stockholm, a lot of people are going to be going for like, you know, 2, 3, 4 days. Not enough to need like a big piece of luggage that you check into the hold, but enough that you can't just go with like, you know, a small overnight bag that'll fit in the, like, in the seat in front of you. That's so mean. That's so mean, and I won't do it. Get in the bin. I hate you. I'm so mad. Anyways, this is a cozy stream. Catching up with chat. Katie says it's called Spirit 2.0 if anyone is interested in more info. That's really cute. Rex says Frontier operates like Spirit, but not quite as super cheap. They've acknowledged if they competed harder, they'd be in a similar position, but they made changes after COVID to be prepared for the next global crisis and are, quote, okay for now. Well, I guess that's something. Suitcase manufacturers are given the cabin bin specs so they can make appropriate sized suitcases. Exactly. You see, you know, when you're buying suitcases, they will tell you that it is compliant with, like, standard airline cabin bag size, so that you don't get a nasty surprise when you get to the airport and someone, you know, sort of at the airline desk is like, you have to check that bag, it won't fit. Like, they do that so that you know, and then, you know, like, BA and I guess whoever else is using this particular model of airplane is just like, oh, lol. Our overhead bins are too small. It's like, well, why did you do that then, you ding-dong dingus? Q chooses put Rex in a suitcase. No! Be nice! You two behave. Come on. Anyways, what else do I want to add anything else to the background of this? I genuinely don't know. I'm not, like, I'm uncertain about that. I feel like there's too much negative space over here, but also I don't want to add too much stuff and have it feel, like, cluttered. So I'm not sure what to do. I feel like it's too far down for there to be, like, shelves and stuff here, because the shelves are reasonably high up. Do I just want to add some, like, interesting texture? There is kind of another curtain, but it's slightly further along. There is also the desk, but the desk is, like, over here, so you wouldn't be able to see it. I'd probably fit, says Rex. Oh, geez. I don't think I would fit in, because I've got a big, like, you know, large suitcase. I don't think I would fit in there. Crucially, I don't think I could fold up with the state of my joints into my suitcase. Would I fit inside my suitcase, babe, if I crawled up into the fetal position? My moderator slash spouse says no. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say that's probably correct. And I'm gonna suggest that we don't attempt that. I don't know what else to do with this piece. Don't know if I want to just add some random wall hangy stuff in the background. I mean, we could have, like, just a suggestion of some additional curtains sort of hanging here. But maybe it's a little further from view, so it's not as bright a hue. Why not? And I'm going to add a little bit more paint so that it looks deliberate and not like I'm ruining my painting. Because right now it feels like I feel like I'm ruining it. Oh no. Oh no. I just mostly wanted to try and balance the composition a little bit because it felt like there was a lot happening over here and then there was like just a lot of nothing over on this end, so there you have it. Anyways, I just picked up the wrong shade of paint, but I don't think you'll notice. Oh, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Anyways, maybe I'll darken down the curtain on the other side so they're a little bit more matchy-matchy. Maybe. Maybe I feel like I'm futzing now. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, anyways, how's everyone's week's been? Can you believe to learn it's Thursday already? What the heck is happening? What is time? I don't know. Oh no, our Rex says there was a story a while ago, and every so often someone tries this. Having their kid hide in a suitcase to try and not pay for their ticket. No. No. I cannot believe to learn that, says Tallis. No, fair enough, me neither. I cannot believe to learn. But anyways, no, don't. Like, that's horrible for your kid. That's a terrifying experience, and also, yeah, super dangerous. If you're checking the suitcase, the hold isn't pressurized the same as the cabin. And also, they all go through an x-ray. They're gonna notice if there's, like, a person in there. What the nuts? I think people don't realize that, the hold may not be the same conditions as, the cabin where people are when you're up in the air. Like, you might not want to be there. Like, it's, the temperature's gonna be different. It's not temperature controlled in the same way. I don't know what happens with the cabin pressure, but it's probably not great. Don't do that. Rex says it's a different crime when they are in a carry-on suitcase versus a checked bag. It's child endangerment both times. Yeah, but it's a more severe degree in a checked bag. That's super not cool. Don't do that. Like, what the hell? That's worse than the lady in the Boots advert who fills up this ad makes me so mad. So there's this advert for Boots. If you don't know Boots, it's like a drugstore type place where you can buy, sort of skincare ingredients and vitamins and all kinds of stuff. But they've been running ads lately that are like, oh, we've got such good prices on skincare, you can really stock up. Like someone whose entire fridge is just full of skincare products. I hate that ad. Another ad where it's like this lady whose toddler is walking next to her and looks visibly tired and annoyed because she's filled the entire pram with, like, skincare and beauty products, and she's like, oh, it's just a little father love. And then describes what an incredibly long distance it is for a child that age to just walk. And I'm like, that isn't like fun, cute, like silliness behavior at that point. That's just, you're just being a neglectful parent. I don't think that this is like, oh, look at this silly behavior from that person. I'm like, oh my god. I know this, they're like, obviously they're not showing this as like, this is behavior that we think that our customers should emulate. But on the other hand, like, even showing it as like a ridiculous, funny extreme, it just hits bad for me. It just feels bad. I don't know why. Maybe I am just old. But when I see that, I just feel not good about it. Every time I see one of those ads, I just want to shop at Boots less. I feel like the more I futz with this, the less I like it. Oh no. Oh no, I ruined everything. No. It's a ridiculous advert. It says Turnip. I hate it so much. I hate it with my whole heart. Also, hello, Turnip. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Okay, so now I feel like those curtains are too dark and the rest of everything isn't dark enough in, like, next to it. So I'm going to add another layer of shading to the everything else of it all. and hope that that brings all of this together a little bit just by making it all kind of a little bit darker. I think that might be what it needs. Or it might just make the curtains kind of blend in. Which honestly also fine, because then I'll just add a little line weight to them. So you can see that there's some curtains happening. And leave it at that. La la la. Okay. I have futzed too close to the sun. And now I feel like it just looks odd somehow. I don't know. I feel like the segments of this curtain side don't quite match up. So I'm just gonna stop futzing and leave it now. I'm just gonna stop futzing and leave it for a while, and I'm gonna masking fluid my other piece for the moment, and we'll come back to it. I think it'll dry down to a nice sort of whatever. It'll whatever. Anyways. Hi, Aoife, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for the was lurking, Huggy. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your lurk. Thank you. How's the wax feeling, Icarus? A little bit sticky. Thank you for asking. Anyways, I'm gonna take another sip of my tea because I'm really thirsty. I've been ranting a lot. I'm so sorry for the rants. I don't know. This is a cozy stream. Nice. Also, I'm sorry for the horrifying, squishy, masking fluid sounds, but so it goes. That's masking fluid for you. This is tomorrow's prompt. In case you missed it earlier, this is tomorrow's prompt, and the word for tomorrow's prompt is vessel. And as such, I will realize partway through this, just now, that I forgot to draw in the bits that Craig here has. Cozy stream full of cozy rants. Yay! I forgot to add the sort of gubbins that Craig here has on the side of his bar, so I will do that now. Definitely not futzing with any of this at all in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not. Nope. Definitely not just deciding that I really didn't like anything about the shape of that curtain and I'm just gonna get rid of it. La la la. Like it was never there. Okay. You know what? It's pretty much back the way it was before, and I think we fixed it. Sometimes that's the journey you have to go on. Anyways. Hashtag delete your art, everybody. Also, were there any, geez, there was a second affirmation. There was a second affirmation redeem, and I don't think I did it, so, I'm sorry I missed the affirmation earlier. Let's affirm now. I'm so sorry. I've been streaming for 5 years. I should be better at this by now, but no. I don't know. Listen, I don't normally get that many channel point redeems in an entire stream, and y'all just gave me like 12 of them all at once. I didn't know what to do. So before I draw in all of the gubbins here, I'm gonna do my last redeem. So apologies for that. I'm not sure if the redeemer is even still here. But let us have ourselves a little affirmation, shall we? Maybe feeling good about ourselves hours would be nice. Anyways, I'm looking forward to probably sometime tomorrow watching, or maybe later tonight watching the final 2 hours of that 5.5 hour long video about Atlas Shrugged, just the worst book. It just, listen, like, no offense if you like that book, but I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's what I look for in a book. Though I do appreciate that, what's the name, what was the name of that character? Balf. There is a character whose name is Balf in that book, which is it's not quite a real name, and I you know, like it's like you tried, you tried, you did try, but I don't know, maybe you should have just run that past somebody. Anyways, yes, Balf. Like Ralph except with a B. It feels like a typo. Feels like a typo. Anyways, that book seems bad. There's a lot of just the kinds of philosophy that the worst people seem to like in it. A lot of just like, okay, this character is just going to make a speech at some other characters for like 9 pages uninterrupted, and I don't know, it's just not to be mean or anything, but it honestly just the whole thing just sounds so embarrassing. It just sounds so embarrassing. Like, okay, friendo, you wrote this entire super long novel that's basically to do with, like, you have a really bad, like, super capitalist, hyper individualistic business philosophy, and I don't know, you want to you want to do it with a bunch of hot guys. Like, okay, fine, but like oh god, monologuing, ew. It's just, I recommend watching Owl Criticism's 5.5 hour video about Atlas Shrugged. I do not recommend reading the book yourself. Somebody did it for you, and for that we should be grateful. Okie dokie. I think we've had this one before, but you know, it's good to be reminded from time to time because I forget this sometimes too, but you deserve love and your feelings are valid. I think this isn't, you know, like this, these are both, like, these are two separate statements. And they're both things that, like, you need to, you know, just, personally, I need to be reminded of these from time to time. Like, you don't have to, love is not a transactional thing. You don't have to earn it. You know what I mean? Like, you deserve to be loved just because you are you. And what you are is wonderful. Okay? Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, additionally, your feelings are valid. Even if your feelings are not, you know, in the same scale of other people's, like, if you feel more things or less things about something than it seems like everybody else does, that's fine. That's okay. And if anyone tries to tell you that you shouldn't be feeling the way that you do about something, then they're silly and you should not listen to them. You know? If you're feeling anxious about something, like, that's just being told, like, you know, there's nothing to be anxious about. Well, clearly there is, because you're feeling anxious, and that's fine. That's okay. It's not helpful to say that you know, like, stop feeling like that. Like, that's not how people's feelings work. Your feelings are valid. Whatever they may be, they are valid. Don't feel bad about having feelings that you are feeling. You know, that's just feelings. So, yeah. Anyways, and you deserve love. Of course you do. Of course you do. And I hope that this is something that you do know and you do remember about yourself, because it is an important thing to know and to remember. And sometimes it feels like there are forces or maybe people in the world who want us to feel other ways about ourselves, to feel like maybe we don't, but we do. You absolutely do. You don't have to do any specific thing to earn that. You deserve to be loved because you are you, and you are special and good, and I love you. Okay? Okay. There's your affirmations. I'm so bad at these, but I'm trying my best, and that's what's important. I'm doing it from the heart, and I'm trying my best. I am not a licensed counselor, but I have a lot of love, and I'm trying to be kind to myself, and I want you all to be kind to yourselves as well. Okay? Okay. Thanks for joining me in I'm doing my best hours with Twitch user Sammy Cal. Jesus, Murphy. Anyways, I struggle with that very much, but I appreciate it. Me too, Pigeon. You're not alone. You're not alone. Q2 says, I feel enthusiastic about bagged milk and turning it into a giant popsicle. Well, I hope that someday you have the chance to do that, Q2s. I really do. Bad is in affirming people with the cards or affirming yourself with the cards. Yes. Bad at wording these things in a way that doesn't end up being excessively verbose and kind of veering into, like, pretty heavily off course, to be perfectly honest. How dry are you? How dry are you right now? You are so wet that I can kind of just let the paint drift, which is always fun. I do enjoy doing that. I think just giving it a darker backdrop makes it feel better. I kind of got rid of the curtain on this side because I just didn't like it. One day I will go to Canada, says Q2's hell yeah. And that day I will also go to Canada, says Rex. Yeah! Starlight, hi, welcome in. Hello again. Hello. It's lovely to see you. Welcome in. Sorry, I had to cough. Okay. I'm going to... looking up a reference for this environment because I need what kind of... okay, I think they're just... it's not entirely clear what the things are, but there's like some... there's some funky little shapes here, so I will just pop in some little shapes. We're not sure what they are. At least I'm not sure what they... if it's clear to anybody else what these things are supposed to be, I can't tell. But I'm gonna try and draw them in. Okay, they just kind of look like that, so that'll do. Nice, easy. Rex says Mesh doesn't want to come back to the U.S., but I've got a passport now, so we can both go to Canada. Hell yeah! Have a nice Canada time. It's fun. I like it there. I mean, I don't like it enough to like move back or to have stayed. Like I emigrated, but you know, it's neat. One moment. Oh, jeez. Oh, beans. I am slightly concerned that I'm not going to be able to finish today's artwork on stream. I've been too chatty. But maybe if we just give it a few minutes to dry down. If I need to come back and finish the line weight like tonight after I've come back from voting, I guess I can do that. Because I do have to finish on time because I gotta go vote. So I would apologize for that, but I shan't apologize for, you know, doing a democracy. Q2 says, I might visit the US in Czech's calendar 3 years. Fair enough. I will be voting soon too, says Pigeon. Yay! I was interrupted, as older viewers may recall, I was interrupted on stream by someone who came to our door asking whether or not we were voting, and I think wanted to hand over a pamphlet, and I was like, nah, it's cool, we will vote, don't worry. We are votey people. I would not dream of being apathetic about such things, because, you know, having a crappy council would be worse. I would not like to have a city councilor that is bad and is like, no, we don't need any funding. Let's defund all of our local services and close all of the, you know, all of the local resources. Let's just close down all of our bus routes and schools and libraries. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyways, ads will be running shortly. So apologies for that, but you won't miss anything. Rex says, I live a few short hours drive from Niagara Falls and I've always wanted to walk across the Rainbow Bridge. Ew. I do recommend visiting Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. The town itself is super touristy. The area around it is super touristy. You do kind of have to get off the main strip if you want to have a meal that isn't like exceedingly mediocre chain food. It's possible, but you do have to kind of look for it. But yeah. But the falls themselves are beautiful. They really are. I've been enough times that I probably don't feel a super strong need to go again at any point in the near future. I guess unless my moderator / spouse really had a hankering for seeing the falls again, but I think he feels like I've done that experience, I don't need to go back, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Which, you know, yay. Because Because it's a few hours from where like my family home is as well. And it is, as I say, if you haven't seen the Canadian side of the falls, they are genuinely really beautiful. It is a sight to behold, and definitely worth it once, and then leave and then go get a nice meal. There are a bunch of hotels that offer, you know, sort of rooms with a view of the falls. I just feel for anyone who booked and got like a slightly less expensive room, but you also are facing the other side of the building. I don't know. I think some of the buildings are actually designed in such a way such that like most, if not all, rooms are facing in such a way that you will be able to see the waterfall. So like the building is a weird shape, which is kind of cool. But like, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, Q2 says we could meet on that one road where one side of it is in Canada and the other one in Canada's pants. I am confusion, but okay. Why are we getting into Canada's pants? I mean, I know Canada's hot, but like, I don't know. At least buy Canada dinner first. This is an adult stream for grown-ups, by the way. This is also a cozy place. Anyways, ad break is about to start. If you feel like sticking around, that'd be super cool. You're not going to miss anything. The USA is Canada's pants. Oh, I see. Well, here's the BRB screen. Enjoy the BRB music and the very old art that I really ought to update soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to disappear for a few minutes. I'm sorry if you have to see ads, and BRB. Turn. Hi. Thank you for sticking around. I hope that if you saw ads that they were fine. There is a quadrant of this that's still wet, but the rest of it has more or less dried down. So I'm going to get a little bit of nice, deep, just some line weight on this one little curtain that we made over here. Thusly, I don't know how visible this is going to be, but it'll be better than if we hadn't done it. So, you know, that's something at least. Oh, beans. Anyways, there we go. We've got some it's curtain lines. That'll do. And now I can look at a gentle removal of the masking fluid, which is the funnest. Why? Who could leave? I wanted to go pee, but not while that song is playing. Oh no, Aoife, that song always plays during the ad break. Please don't hold your pee for too long. Or do you wait until I'm back and then you do a pee break? Because that is also completely valid. But it's so good. That's, you know what, that's fair. It is, like, the reason I picked it as my BRB song is because I think it's nice. And I wanted to give you a nice, gentle break. So yeah. Anyways. That's how I do it, yes. I see, okay, so, if you want to head off and go do your business at any point, now I have returned and the song is over. So if you want to use my presence as an opportunity to go take a little break, a little comfort break, by all means, feel free to do so. As always, I really, there is no expectation, and I think y'all are aware of this, there is no expectation to be, like, an active and engaged member of chat on my stream. I'm very happy to talk to y'all. I'm very happy when people want to talk to me. That's so fun and exciting and good. But also, I'm very happy if people consider me, like, a comfortable space to just kind of have on in the background, and co-work along to, or just have, like, as background noise while they're doing other stuff. Like, thank you. It is an honor and a privilege to get to be that presence for you. That's really cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyways, okay. I'm going to bring back the reference image I had up before to see what colors exactly. Okay, so this bed sheet is similar in hue to the... It's not carpet per se, but it's like carpet adjacent. But I do want it to be a slightly different... It does want to be a slightly different shade to Hornet's poncho, which I think I'm gonna just use this red, just straight ahead this red for Hornet's poncho, which is showing up a little bit more sort of like tomato-ish on screen, but it is like a very blue-toned red. And I do think that Hornet's poncho generally is a bit more of a blue-toned red, I think. Even when it's more vibrant. And I did want to try and get the energy of... She is literally just flopped down basically face first into this mattress. Not quite face first. But she has definitely just flopped here. She walked into her little bell home and just went like, you know. That's the vibe I was trying to go for with Hornet taking a little nap, because, oh man, sometimes you just real seepy. You just gotta plop. And so hopefully it's giving some amount of that vibe. Okay, I need sort of brownie-ish, not as in brownies, but like a brown adjacent color now. So I'm gonna get weird. I'm gonna see what happens if I just add some, like, if we combine this neutral tint with like orange, can I get something that's kind of like a bright, I like a bright brown. I don't know if bright brown makes sense, but like there are different gradations of like subtlety of brownness. Tal says, I love flopped Hornet. This is the scene I did as well. Oh, I can't wait to see. I hope, if you haven't shared it yet, I hope you do. I would like to see it. It was just, to me anyways, when I was looking at the prompts, it just felt like a no-brainer. I wanted to do Hornet's little house, like, so bad. So I think it is so stinking cute. And I just thought it would be nice to get to show, you know, the little place where she can go hang out and write things down at her little desk, put up little trinkets on the walls, have a nice relaxing bath without perverts looking in. Oh my god. When when in that one area with the I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't experienced this bit of the game, but oh man, the absolute fury with which Hornet responds to the pervert, I'm like, yes, correct, that is the correct response. I love and respect you so much, Hornet. That guy is horrible, and I hate him. Anyways. Tal says, somehow it took me a while to realize the Bell home was in Bellheart. Bell is right in the name. I will say, I think I could have discovered the Bell home faster, because there were so many times when I was, like, going through Bellheart on my way to, like, somewhere else, or in the middle of, like, a quest or something, and, you know, I see, like, Pavo the dancer is there, sort of like, woo, woo, and he's, like, waving at me, and I think I thought he was just doing a little dance, but he was, like, trying to get my attention and be like, hey, we made you a house. I'm stupid. Seb says, Peep Hornet, yee. I almost did Bellheart House Hornet for day 1 before I decided to go for Hornet Protector. Sweet. I'm so glad I got to... I actually almost did the Bell House for the first day as well. Because I just love it so much. But I'm glad I get to do it now. Rex says, kick your shoes off at the door, lay perpendicular on your bed, still dressed and passed out. Yep, perfect. That sounds nice. I want to go. This morning was one of those mornings where I just woke up and desperately wanted to immediately be asleep again. Like, I just did not want to be. I'm just like, no, I don't want to be awake right now. I want to be asleep. Why am I sleepy now? I just woke up. No. That was my morning, which was super fun, and I love that. Rex says, yeah, I passed that guy so many times thinking he was just dancing and not trying to get my attention. It was so, and once I realized that he was, seeing him sort of waving and going, woo, woo, I was like, oh, I'm silly. He was very clearly waving to me, trying to get my attention because he wanted to talk to me. I'm just a goofball. Oh well. I'm so glad that I managed to find this cozy little home. It's so darling, and it makes me so happy. And I love getting to sleep in it. That's my favorite thing. I like sleeping. I like sleeping and waking up feeling rested. It's not like waking up feeling rested. That's not a common occurrence for me. But I like thinking about it. I like imagining that that's something that could happen to me. Sitting on the bench going, that's such a happy little guy, says Rex. Yup. Exactly, Rex. It's just like, aw, he seems to be having a nice time. Just weirdly, like, waving at me and going kind of woohoo, like you would if you were trying to get someone's attention. But I guess he just wants me to dance with him, and I think I'm good, bro. I'm just gonna sit on the bench. But thanks for the invitation. Silliness. Okay. Being very careful to make sure that these colors don't touch, because I don't want them to bleed into each other, please and thank you. So can I get a slightly deeper blue on here? Can I just get some more blue happening in this blueness? I'm using like an indigo blue. I think in the game it's probably more of a gray, but I just wanted to get a little bit more color into the piece because I love colors. Colors are fun. Dan says, I am now resolved. I will not quit Silksong until I've at least found her house. It is so worth it finding the house. It makes me incredibly happy. Having a place to just flop is a wonderful thing. Housing rocks. Anyways. Okay, I'm gonna sip my tea. Then I'm gonna finish the poncho. And then I'm gonna paint her legs. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish all of this today. Or at least I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish all of this on stream. I might need to just go, because I'm gonna have to depart fairly shortly to go do my voting. Because it is an extra thing that we have to do. I've got to go vote. I'm hoping that my moderator / spouse is either has done or is preparing to make sure that we've got our IDs, because it is a thing in this country now where you have to have ID with you in order to vote, because like voter fraud was such a problem without ID. It wasn't. It never has been. But don't get me started on that. This is a cozy stream. Okay. That looks like a Hornet red. I don't know why it's skewing more orangey red on my camera, but I promise you that is a very Hornet red. It is a very, like, blue-toned red, seeing it in person. And so it will be in the scan as well. So I'm not worried about that. But yeah. My paint water is so full of colors because I've painted such a dark background that my paint water is just full of stuff now, which that's fine. That's fine. It's just I always wonder, like, if you've ever done, like, miniature painting, you know how they, like, they have different, like, thicknesses of paint. You can get, like, the quite heavy, like, base colors, and then you can get, these quite, like, watery, colors that are meant for, like, just doing, like, shading and contrast and stuff, and it's, like, it's basically just, like, very thin, very watery paint. So you're not gonna, there's, like, no opacity to it. And I'm like, if I just bottled this, that could be just, like, a shade for a miniature. Um, like, what would I call that color, I wonder? I don't know. I don't think I would do that. I mean, for one thing, it's a different kind of paint, because weirdly they don't use watercolors, to paint minis, but yeah, anyways, I have a figurine that I would really like to paint on stream at some point in the fairly near future. It's a little gnome. So I've already named him. His name is Nathan, with a silent G, obviously. And I cannot. He needs to be primed, and then I shall paint him. I cannot wait for you to meet him, though. Nathan with a silent G is a very special little guy. I hope you'll like him. Anyways, okay. Like her little legs kind of kicking up as she's flopping down. OMG, Nathan, says Pigeon. Yeah. That feels like a good gnome name, Nathan feels like a good gnome name. Anyways. Alright. Okay. Her legs be flooping, and I think I want to do just a little bit of shading on the, like, Nigel with a silent G. Yes, perfect. Yes, perfect. Okay. Gonna do just a little bit of shading on this, because there's some shapies happening here. So let me see what I can do with that. Before I get line weight on it. What time is it? Okay, I've got 4 minutes. I have given myself the self-imposed limit of roughly on the hour. Maybe just a little bit beyond the hour. And then I have to go vote. So I'm working on it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop. I'm just getting these tiny, tiny amounts of shading in, hoping that it doesn't look too janky. Tra-la-la. And if it looks a little bit janky, I think it'll clean up nicely once the lines are done. I did the shaping of this bed is super uneven, but whatever. I played a couple demos today, says Aoife. Ooh, one definitely stood out. It was called Explorite. It was definitely very Hollow Knight coded. Ooh, you've piqued my attention and you have my interest. Or rather, you've piqued my interest and you have my attention. That's how that statement goes. Heck, you know what I mean. That sounds like a fun time. I hope it was. That's very cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I assume if it was a demo that it's not, like, out yet. So, perhaps one to look out for. I do occasionally look at, like, oh geez, what other games should I play on stream? But here's the problem with that, is that it's taken me so long to get this far in Silksong that I feel like it's probably going to be a little while before I actually have the chance to play anything else on stream, because I really want to finish Silksong. Though I do occasionally do a game stream on Thursdays if I'm feeling it. If there's something that I really, really want to play that feels like it would lend itself to a game day, Thursday. But with that being said, I don't, like, are other people, do people want to see me play game on Thursday? I don't know. I will say the Thursday game streams tend to be pretty quiet in terms of audience. When, as soon as you change something, you lose people. People be like, no, I was here to see you paint, and then I'm not painting. It's like, oh, well then, guess I'll just leave. Which is fair enough. They came for a certain type of content, and here I am doing something different. There's no obligation to stick around. But never mind. But I do what I feel like anyways, because if I'm not having fun, then what am I doing? I'll share it on the Discord to see if oh, sweet, I'm going to stick a link to the Discord in the chat as well, just in case anyone is not in the Discord and wants to be. It's a quiet place, but we have fun there. And you can see the game that Aoife recommends that she tried the demo of. It was quite challenging, she says, and I did encounter a couple of bugs, but I had such fun. Oh, nice. Well, I mean, if it is a demo as well, they'll have a chance to sort through those bugs potentially before the full release. So that's all right. But I'm glad that it was a fun challenge. That's rad. Okay. Do. Yay. Do. Okay. Okie dokie. Alright. Almost done with that. I think we might actually be able to finish this before I head. Because the line weight is taking a large amount of time, actually. Is it? The lines on the bed are super uneven and weird, but hey. It looks like it's also just done by 2 people. Ah, nice! Some of the very best games are. Yeah, honestly, some of my favorite games are like one to 2 people made this thing. And it's always so impressive and surprising to me. Like, I mean, Stardew Valley was made by a guy. That was just like a guy who was like, I want to make a weird little farming sim. And then he did that, and it was neat. I have played many Stardew Valleys. I do, the one thing about Stardew Valley that is not, I do struggle with, because I love the fact that the one guy who made the game, who as a dev goes by Concerned Ape, I love how much he has added to the game in like subsequent updates over the years. It's amazing, but it also means that like it's basically impossible for me to do everything that I feel like I need to do for my farm in a day. Like, I get up, I feed my chickens and my cows, I water my crops, I say hi to my spouse and I tell them I love them, I acknowledge my children and my dog, and it's already lunchtime. And then I've got all of the other tasks that I need to do in a day, and there's just so much, and I can't do it all. If I want to achieve everything in the space of a day, I feel like I'm gonna have to neglect stuff, and I don't want to neglect my cows or my chickens or my wife, you know? It's just so much. There's just so much. It's great. It's fun, but like, I end up feeling under pressure, which is, I don't think is the intention. Because it's supposed to be just a cozy, chill time where you go at your own pace and you don't have to do everything. But I end up feeling like I have to do everything. You know, I have to check and see, does anyone in town have any, like, requests? Do they need anything? Are there any special, like, projects that they need done? Does Haley needs a red snapper, but she only wants a girl to bring her one, and there's a winky face, and she says, you know what it's for, and I don't know what she's doing with a red snapper, but it sounds weird and honestly kind of gay, and you know what, I love that for her. I did actually, I married Haley in one save. I made my farmer an influencer, I named them Iggy, short for Instagram. And everything about them was pink, because Haley loves the color pink. And we got bunnies on our farm, because Haley loves bunnies. Anyways, this is why people use sprinklers for the crops, says Katie. Yeah, I know, there are, like, mechanisms to automate all of the things. You can automate, like, milking the cows and shearing your sheep and doing all that stuff as well, but I'm like, no, but I want to milk the cows and shear the sheep because I want to have a personal connection to the creatures that live on my farm. So I end up not doing any of the automation things. And so everything takes a really long time. Anyways, I don't know if this painting is good, but I tried my best. I feel like it looks really washed out on camera compared to in real life, which I feel like makes it look worse, but Hornet's just taking a nap. This piece is fine. Listen, they're not all going to be the best thing I ever painted, because I have to do 31 of them in as many days. And I kind of had to speed run some of them because I'm going on holiday. Anyways, so this is my last art stream for a couple weeks, so apologies for that as well. But I will be streaming Silksong tomorrow, so that's fun. Aoife says, I love the game Dwarf Fortress. It was made by two brothers, and it's basically an open access for 20 years or so. It's crazy what they added over the years. That's wild. Rex says, I'm doing a 5-player farm with my brothers and their partners, and we're calling it the Commune because half the town will be living with us soon enough. Oh, that's adorable. And very funny. Katie says, see, this is, yeah, the sprinklers. Aoife says, it's still free to play unless you want enchanted unless you want enchanted graphics. Unless you want enhanced graphics, but honestly, having everything just be colored letters is a big part of the charm for me. Oh, that's really sweet. That's really, really sweet. Okay, I legit have to go, go run away so I can vote, so I'm sorry that this, stream is ending a little bit abruptly, but, I will leave you in the absolute expert hands of a wonderful friend of the channel, Sab, who is streaming right now, aka Perrin. And if you have hung out in a Perrin stream before, you know it's a wonderful, soft, cozy time. So bloop. We're gonna go send some love in that direction. If you want to join in with the raid, here's a raid message. I'm popping it in the chat. Generic raid message. And, let's get some Hornet pop-ins for the emote. Feels appropriate. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message. Or possibly even, okay, I'm gonna make another raid message that is... And nobody else has to use this, but I'm going to use the one that says Sammy has to run away immediately to go vote raid message. Because that's what I will be doing as soon as the raid goes through. So there's the Sammy has to run away immediately to go vote raid message. So grab whichever of those you want. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say whatever raid message you want, but please be nice. I will be back tomorrow morning playing some Silksong. And we finished our art today, and honestly, I consider that a triumph. It's been a day. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Good night, and good luck.